I think it's because school is already very gamified, and then people, when they think about gamification, it's like within school, but it's like it just scratches the surface, right? Like you have leaderboards and you have these points and these levels, but these are all extrinsic motivations. Like we and like I guess there are some intrinsic motivations, like doing that with people, but like there aren't really systems to support that. There aren't these guilds that we're talking about. There aren't these ways that you can collaborate. There. I know why they're not doing group chats, but like I feel like having these guilds amongst communities where you have like um these interactions. I feel like the affiliate was the first point where we kind of like started building bridges to other communities, and considering on like something we have to also remember is like school is still super young,
Yeah.
like compared to other platforms. Um like Hermosi joined last year, and like they've gone through so many things and like so many changes, and I feel like we're just getting started from here on.
I feel like replicating the school in Notion isn't as valuable because people would just have school, right? To me,
Yeah,
it'd have to
right.
be something different. And I think something that would be really interesting would be to map out in Notion all of the connections that people have, right? Like
Right.
if I could look at your profile, Evan, and I can be like, oh wow, you've got Sophia, Lucas, and Rob as friends in school that you actually talk to. That's incredibly valuable. I would
True.
use
Yeah.
the platform for that, right? So if you gave me like essentially like a network phone book showing like who's connected to who, then I know who I can go talk to get, if I want to have a conversation with Sophia or Lucas, I'm like, oh, I can talk to Evan. He's cool. He'll
Oh.
like connect me.
Yeah,
This
that's a
this
Yeah.
really good way
builds
to
So I
use
very
mean,
it.
that's like,
nicely
yeah,
in the
personal
guild system.
relationship management tool.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And like when I feel like there's already exists like bubbles within school, right? Like for
Yes.
example, there's the courses bubble, and like Kevin, you are very deeply involved because like your host calls there, and Patrice
Yeah.
is there as well, and then
Harut.
um root is there. So like that's kind of like one bubble. And when someone joins courses, then I bet like there's such a we can probably count the probability and it's like, okay, how many people have been to courses before they join Harut's community, for example? Like how many people actually come from courses towards Harut? And making these things visible and be like, oh, like there's like a small bubble around like Max Pearson and like all of the people that he's connected to, and there's a bubble around Keytron and every like I haven't entered that space at all, and I bet like there is an equally sophisticated ecosystem around that, and making that visual, like especially not just like in a data format, but like actually visually appealing. It's like, oh, like these are the connections, and then maybe ranking it and like who who have you connected how much. So has anyone played um these like relationship games where like you have like the relationship bar, and then you can kind of like the more you interact, like Persona is something like that,
Yes. Yeah.
or Fire
Even
Emblem.
Stardew Valley kind of has it a little bit, like,
Yes.
right? Yeah, whoever you talk
Yeah.
to or give a gift to, they get more hearts. But Persona is like a very complicated, in
I'm
depth.
not sure how to integrate
I,
that.
I think even just if you had a system where you could basically, it's like a LinkedIn almost, right? Where you can say, hey, I know this person, the person has validated they know me. That would be interesting. And I feel like that does not exist on school. Like LinkedIn for
Mm.
school is interesting. And I think that would be a better place for Notion to be involved because you can't really do that with school itself. But with Notion, yeah, I meant, can you like build a school LinkedIn? That's super valuable.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
and I
like
mean,
that.
one of the biggest things I think is going to be is like giving everybody their own extended about like personal biography page or whatever. I mean, that can be one of the freebie things that we just like promote and hand out as far as getting people in, rather than 150 characters. You get a published Notion web page, and then that web page becomes your profile. Where I set up the system where like yeah, the person like just has like very minimal. They get their own page, but then all of their like personal data and everything is all separate, and private, and then you can choose what you want to have, like different levels of access for public, or like your friend group or your team or your guild or whatever.
I think it's
Um,
more than just a LinkedIn, right? Because it's also your workspace. So, and that's the beauty of Notion. We can almost do everything. And by having like this private layer and the public layer, you can choose what to make public. And we almost build our own social network through that, powered through school. But like eventually, I can also see us reaching out to LinkedIn in that way. And then from there, people are not just using that to see who people are connected to, but they also like have their own projects in there. They like have their own book summaries in there. And then something that we haven't even touched upon is like the power of just having an AI access all of this information and becoming your companion, right? Because the more context an AI has on who you are and what you're doing, the more valuable it will be able to help you out with that. And like I see a future where we really have these digital personas that we can embody ourselves. But for example, when we are on vacation or we're doing something else, then we can have our AI persona cover for us. In the beginning, it's going to be kind of wonky. But again, the more context we feed this AI on like who we are, what our values are, what our vision is, the more we can have it represent us in the digital world and even complete tasks for us. Right? Like 2025 is going to be the year for AI agents. And I think what we're building is also like the perfect space to collect all the data about yourself to train your agent.
Yeah, the only thing that gives me pause, and I would tell you this as well in my Q&A call, Lucas, is as you go further bigger, right? And especially with AI, like I love AI, but everyone talks about AI and it's so complicated and so far, right? That it makes it harder for people to get your main message because everyone
Yeah.
talks about AI,
That
right? So
that's
like,
why I'm putting it all the way at the end. And like
yes,
this will come, but it's not something that you should worry about. But like, by the way, this like is supported. I think most companies just say like we are working with AI, so like we'll stay
yes.
relevant, but like what we do with that isn't that important.
Yes, yeah, because I think with all things, right, everything gets more complicated each layer you go, and it's like triple down focus on the one thing that you are selling is the thing that matters because people will get confused otherwise because they'll be like, oh, is it Notion? Is it a Quest? Is it a network? What is it? Right? And like when I was selling my data, all I said is it's done for you data. If you don't know your numbers, I will tell you your numbers. I'll scan all your shit. I'm not going to explain to you how I scan it. I'm not going to tell you how long it takes. I'm just telling you the destination, which is you don't have to know anything. I'll tell you what it is and you can
Yeah.
check it. And that's it, right? So super, super simple is going to help get the traction, especially from a sales perspective, to get more people in there. But it's got to be like very clear value and like one thing.
Yeah, and that's why I like to do it similar to games. Like games also give you like very clear action point. Like this is the next thing you should be doing.
You're
Like
literally not
all of these
allowed to do anything else, right? It's like you get
exactly.
one, like I
yeah,
play Dota, right?
exactly.
So it's like
Yeah,
you get one skill, pick your one skill, and all you do is I get one
yeah,
special move that can stomp the ground, right? And like if I had all my abilities
yeah,
at the beginning, I wouldn't even know what to do. I'd probably stop playing, right? Because I'm like, it's
yeah,
just too much. So like having that,
yeah.
one focal point is going to be huge, I think.
No.
Yeah, and
And I
that's the crux of everything that we're building. I mean, that's the crux of gamification. Period, as far as I'm concerned, is just show them the bird's eye view for just a second, and then give them one thing to do, one thing to do, one thing to do.
Yes. Yeah, and I think the
To
main
make
challenge
it
that you guys
make that
have is
connection.
there's a ton of awesome ideas that come from the gaming world that I'm bought in, right? But most people are not. And so to kind of Rob's point, if you figure out the thing to triple down on, and that's the main thing that you use to compel people to join, that's enough, right? And actually, it's harder to say no to all the great ideas that you care about and find the one thing that most other people care about and get them into the funnel, right? Because let's say it is Quest or it is DMing outside of school, something like that, right? That's what you told me it was, and that's all I knew you for, that's enough. Because then I'll learn all about all the other stuff that I actually need for my community after I've gotten the thing that I want.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the crucial aspect, to be known for one thing, because you cannot be known for three things, even though you
Mhm.
may be able to do three things. Like, what are you known for? And I've been like telling, like, when in the beginning I did a lot of discovery calls. Like when I was on like new on school, it's like, okay, I just want to talk with as many people as possible to kind of get the vibe. And there were a lot of people who had no idea what they're doing. It's like, but what do you want to be known for? Because like this will help you find this direction. And I really like how they talk about it in the synthesizers. Like you don't need to know exactly what you're doing, but like just go in a direction and keep going in this direction, because eventually it will compound and people will give you feedback on like what resonates and what doesn't. And I think really narrowing it down over time, and it's like, okay, like I really fucking love doing this. And like I started with like holistic gamified education. It's like, okay, yes, but like that's too much, because it's literally everything. And I designed it to be everything. It's like, okay, this is very difficult to sell, as you said. So how can we break this down into smaller things? Like, okay, and what I really like is this quest feature. It's like, okay, building quests for other people, because um, and framing it around marketing. It's like, hey, we build this quest for you and we will advertise that. So something that I'm currently doing is like on Thursday, for example, I'll be making a YouTube video about the synthesizer roadmap. And this is like a synthesis or a summary of this classroom. And like, by the way, you should totally do this if you're at this stage of the journey. So this way we can connect it to the individual people and helping others, and like, hey, this is your next step. If you're getting started, go to synthesizer. If you want to like start having a free community, go to Rhine. If you want to start building a course, go to courses.
Synthesizers were actually doing that with one-on-one support. Like they send out a survey so that people filled it in,
Yeah,
and I actually filled it, and they got back to me. Funny thing is, they recommended me the service I had just hired a few weeks before.
nice. There you
Really?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest selling point is just simply the connectivity, like what school should already have, which is a school platform. And really, I mean, that seems, good enough as far as like, okay, yeah, I mean, yes, we layer in the marketing, but yeah, between quests and then the cross community like platform is really, yeah, I mean, I think the main selling point, because like it's a way for affiliates to work together and find other affiliates and like communities and share members. It's just a way, like a platform that allows you to connect communities at the community owner level, and then as well as let members join the platform just as much as community owners, but it's primarily for community owners to connect. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the level I'm most interested in, right? Is getting other community owners together, because I think Schoolers does not do a good enough job and it does feel too
Right.
official. They kind of lost their magic from the school community. Like I was just looking at how many new posts they have a day and I'm like, wow, it's way less. And like it's only useful to like promote. But yeah, super interesting to see the change in how the culture has been going. And then again, the massive backlash they got is just funny to me that that they did ask and then they got blown up and they still did it and they got blown up even harder. So I think there's a lot of room for community owners to get together and tell school what they want.
Yeah,
No.
and I mean, I think that like the school games is cool and everything, but you only get to visibility to it if you're like doing it. So it's going to be a really big opportunity for the people that want to have school communities but don't yet. Like that's going to be
Yeah.
a big target audience, and then the people that do have school communities that want to work together. But yeah, like the people that got kicked out of schoolers, they need a home.
Yes.
That's one thing. And then the people that do have communities, they need an affiliate networking group.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a way to facilitate that, because school doesn't like you promoting anything. But like, well, where are you supposed to do it then?
Exactly. Yeah, I think we're all working to solve that, and I think the more iterations of things that we're solving, the better. Because I want to reach out to school people, right? Like that's the whole
Yeah.
point of school to me, is that it's a platform where people are. So I think we're all
Yeah.
going to touch different parts of it, and that's going to make it successful.
Something that
Because
I
if we
really
bring
like
this
about your
together,
offer, Kevin, is the aspect of like showing other people's data in the same niche. And I think this already does a lot to connect the categories to one another. Because at the moment, it's like everyone is kind of scattered, but it's like, oh, like everyone in their category should kind of know each other, right? Because like if we look at relationships, like a girl that is teaching man dating, she's like she'll probably find like you have a very specific niche, and someone who is just like almost the same thing but a different niche connecting with these kind of people, because like your marketing will never be perfect and you will never just attract the ideal customer. But this way, if you're connected to all these people, you know the data, you trust them, you know who they are, then like whoever you're talking to will always lead to a sale. It was like, okay, what's your problem? Okay, can I solve the problem? Yes, amazing. No, well, now I know someone who can solve your problem. And
And use
this
my
way,
referral
like,
code.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean
something that
the discovery thing, the fact that you can't even see all the communities within discovery, is
Super
frustrating
annoying.
enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, super annoying. And so I mean, this would give. I don't. It's not like we're gonna like gather up every single community, owner period, but this will give us a way to connect communities to people, like to the owner. Because right now you look at, the communities, but you don't really like remember like, okay, who owns this one, who owns that one, who owns this one, or you find the people and be like, oh, hey, you own that community. But it'll be like all in one place, all the people, all the communities. And so you'll see that connection. And then if we use their classifications, and then also just like, we start to, relate other communities together, was like, yeah, this is the exact same community. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're competing, I guess. This one's got 20 members, this one's got 22 members. Like, why? This will give people visibility into that.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be a fun time. And again, it's great. It coincides with the new school games, and I know that event is coming up anyway. So I'm curious what they're going to say and celebrate people, or what their plan is. But actually, I have to jump for something before that call. But yeah, this is great, guys.
I
I appreciate.
appreciate your time and your input, and I'm excited to get this further to the next stage to see how we can integrate Gather and Notion into school, because I think both touch on things that are not on school yet. And if
Yes,
we do a good enough job, then it will become native. If we think
exactly.
like
Yeah.
3 or
I'd
5
like the
years in the
next
future,
conversation we have to be focused on like trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the best integration between Notion and Gather that we can get going, outside of school. So that way, there already is that kind of somewhat of a blend. Because we've talked about it in the past, and I've already done a whole bunch of kind of like interactive objects that go open Notion pages, and you can, interactive, those kind of things. So yeah, ideas around what would be the best kind of setup there that you blend the two worlds.
Yeah, I love that. That sounds great to
awesome.
me. Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, all right,
Cool.
guys, I got to jump, but I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll probably see you on my call anyway, Lucas.
I'll be there.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much for jumping in.
Appreciate
Yep,
it.
bye,
Bye,
guys.
See you.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. So something that I'd still like to do, since we're still live, is um, the idea that I had is to generally cover general conversations as well as like really a game plan on what's happening, what community is doing what. So over time we can really like showcase all of these communities, like what we were just talking about, like how can we like shows like, oh, like this community. And I think this is what Kevin's data is going to be great at. And um doing this kind of sports reporting on like, oh, this community just got like this many new members, and like this community just updated their classroom, and this community is currently reworking their VSL, and like let's have a look at these things. And kind of making that visible is something that I'm super excited about, and I want to like somehow integrate in this game plan so people can be like, okay, where you're at, if you're getting started, it's like join Synthesizer, learn how to do networking, learn how to like start doing calls with people, like get your first client, and then from there
Yeah,
on.
and that's why I think the marketing aspect, like that you keep going down, is a good like sales foot in the door kind of thing. But really, like the project management portion of, like, I feel like we should just give away to like, because that way they are already putting their data into our system because it helps them. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, you already got your data, like, here, how about you share some of it? And for affiliates, or for needing help, or like a job posting board, or like that kind of thing. But if we can just like do the project management portion of things, like really focus on the community owners, like everything that they would need to manage their team and like manage their community, as far as, oh, here, like have a classroom set up where it's like a workflow that's like, boom, here, you need a new classroom, like here's the guidelines or whatever, follow these steps, here's your checklist or whatever. Then then that would kind of be the best way to onboard them, rather than like with marketing, it's like, here, that's like the value that you're going to get, but like the done for you, while the do it yourself is the project management, because it's not like we can come in there and like manage your community for you, not from the beginning. So
No, I 100% agree. And like, you sparked an idea, because like what we're already giving away for free is your self project management, right? Like that's what the quests are. And I actually wanted to show that to you guys. And I think next time I'm gonna start it off with that. Like when we start the call, I'm gonna share the video. So we can have this transition essentially. So because like I just released the video. So Sophia, once you have, like, I'm not sure like how far you got with the graphics, but I just kind of used
Pretty
the
far,
old one,
pretty far.
and then we can replace the template.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Let me go to the piece, open this up, and perfect. Okay. So this is also the first time that I am like seeing it uploaded. So let me know when you see it. Education system prepared you for the past. You see it?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. And you also had audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make this a little bit more pretty. There you go. The education system prepared you for the past, but we prepare you for the future by just playing a game. And just like every other role-playing game, you can choose a class with different skills. For example, the knights have the ability to attract people to their banner by positioning themselves. Rangers have the ability to find the right target and hit it consistently. And the wizards deliver wisdom by summoning solutions. By playing this game, you will be healthier, wealthier, and more connected. Just like all... Funny side note, it took me longer to get the staff thing right than hitting the target.
Really?
Yeah, that's definitely looked pretty slick.
participated in the last live event. This was last year, where we all got together to just play and have fun and challenge ourselves throughout all areas, like on our health by doing sword fighting or archery, or doing team building exercises where we capture the point in a safe way so no one gets hurt. But we also play some volleyball and do some general video games like playing Mario Kart. But we also talk about business around the campfire, see where we want to be next year. And this is happening on the 23rd of August. Now let me show you what it looks like when you've been playing this game for a few years. I started playing back in 2020, or at least that's when I started collecting experience points. So since then, I collected over 16,000 of those, which means that I'm currently at level 16, which is a great way to think about my progress. Currently filling the role as a knight. And throughout this time, I've been completing these different quests that are easy, medium, and hard. And as you can see, I've completed quite a few of them. To just give you an idea, I want to show you the quests that I'm currently working on or that I completed in the last quarter. So some of them are purely entertainment, like anime, video games, or audiobooks, but some are also more business related or more relationship focused, or diving deeper in a community, or reading non-fiction books. Like all of these things I consider to be counting within the experience that I'm collecting across different areas of life. And the best quest I really organize so I can give them back to you and say, like, these are masterfully done and I'd love to share them with you. So some of them, again, are purely entertainment focused, but some of them are like, hey, you should definitely join this community, or you should read this book. And this is what we are doing here in the Game of Life, to really curate these different quests and help you find the next thing that you should be working on, find the next step, because that is always the most important one. But don't take it from me. Just listen to the people that I've been working with so far.
I started to see everything as a game. And since then, I've really been gamifying my life.
And most importantly for me, the systems that Lucas's Notion template gave me, it allowed me to save so much time in the planning, so much time into the strategizing, like, okay, how should I organize this?
So if you're ready to be held at a higher standard, if you're ready to be walking in that higher standard, I highly recommend working with Lucas.
He wants you to become a better you, because he knows that for you becoming a better you, you can impact the people that you work with at a higher level.
He's also a mentor of mine. He's always recommending different things and hacks and growth hacks. So could not recommend more. Super.
This is, by the way, Cody, who we are building the community around marketing, like now-ish.
That's really
Intelligent
awesome.
guy.
He has one of the best.
Come again?
Is it a new testimonial? Because I haven't seen it before.
No, it's kind of new. So we
Okay.
are just getting started. We
Okay.
want to finish the onboarding this week.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Higher level.
He's also a mentor of mine. He's always recommending different things and hacks and growth hacks. So could not recommend more. Super intelligent guy.
He has one of the best things for anyone that's on school right now. And some of the strategies that he shared with me, I've actually implemented inside of my school community, which has made a massive difference with engagement. So I made 3.5K yesterday. So yeah, absolutely going to crush it, Lucas, in my life.
Are you ready to start playing and making learning fun again?
I love that. The script is really good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. At the beginning part, I don't know how easy this is because I don't do YouTube kind of stuff, but between each of the transitions from like, sword to archery to the staff, like put just like a little bit more space. It's like the jump over is fine or whatever. It's just like the amount of time that it feels rushed as I hear it. It clips over, and then like it just give it a little bit, just like not even like maybe a second, like a second and a half or something, like lead time on between sword and, or like add a second and a half to the beginning of archery and a second and a half to the beginning of the wizard, and I think it'll it's like the timing, the cadence of it would work better.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can do, like, I'm pretty sure that I cannot do it afterwards. I would have to re-upload it. But something that I would like to do anyways is do these quarterly. So each quarter we kind of like do a new video on that. So like what you just said is like perfect, because I think for next time we should go a little bit deeper into these roles. And we already discussed it on like having different people and showing their Notion profile side to side, because I think we have the Notion too late. People don't know like that this is a Notion profile, and I think we really need to show that to people. And it's like, hey, this is what it looks like to be a ranger. This is what it looks like to be a knight. This is what it looks like to be a wizard. And these are
Because
different
I'm not sure they'll
activities.
make it all the way through the video. If you kind of want to at least have some parts of it. If they're like, well, I'm not going to attend this event thing. What are you talking about? Like, I'm out. Say, whoa. Like, that's not all of it. Like, that's not. It's like,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, moving some of that up front would be good. But yeah, that was really great. I think like the overall, you hit all the cool points. It seems like a cool thing. Like I'd be interested in learning more about it. The Notion piece, I think that like the 16,000, like the level 16 points and stuff there is important, but like yeah, I feel like we just need more Notion in general. Like
I agree,
like
and I
yeah,
think we
yeah,
need more Notion that is not me. We need other people. We need to
yeah,
show other people's Notion because
Other
that would
people's profiles as well.
exactly.
yeah.
So
The coolest thing is just to see like to open up that community page and see like all of the people's big profile pictures. Yeah, I mean I love it every time. I'm like, man, this looks so good.
I'm
I also
always
feel the
happy
same way every time I
when I show it.
see all the any other gallery thing. That's just like literally the best thing about Notion is that gallery view.
Talking about it, like since we are already streaming it, might as well show it how it looks like on our side. So I think we can zoom out a little bit to make this. Yes, this looks better.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like how it looks like on the team layer before it was the personal layer. So we have all of the people that are currently playing the game. So we have these different roles, and we all contribute towards these different channels. So at the moment, we are investing heavily on YouTube. That's kind of like where most things are going. And then underneath, we have like the knights, the rangers, and the wizards. So this is kind of like where we spend most of our time. So me as a knight, like I spend most of my time in here. And this is kind of like the content schedule on like what is planned for now. So none of these things are um, set in stone. But something that I'm really excited about is the chess tournament this Saturday. So something that I'd love to do, and I still have to do that. So kind of thinking about how can we create this tournament on Notion, because this would probably be one of the easiest ways to already get people's information in there and then start using the profile in there. Do you have like an idea on how to do that, Evan?
Well, I mean, so you actually want to play chess digitally with people?
Yes, like on
Yeah, yeah.
chess.com.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can look to see if you can embed it through an iframe, and then like, yeah, the games could actually be, yeah, chess.com could be inside of Notion, and then you could have like I could put a chat feature or like a scoreboard, leaderboard. You can kind of like click to see other people's games,
Oh,
like
that'd
through the
be
side panel.
amazing. And this would be like a really good use case to show other people. Like, hey, by the way, that's also possible in Notion. And it's also
Yeah.
something that I'm wanting to do for Kevin for a while, but I haven't figured out how to. Actually, I can probably show the community and like how far I got in terms of the metaverse, because you also place different games in there, and I thought it would be just super cool to show your score in like different games. So this is the community page that I have for Kevin. So I was thinking, okay, we could have like a games database and like all the games that we're playing, and then like initial instances of these games. So like, hey, there's like a race with Mario Kart, and then this would also have to be connected to the CRM, so we see like who won in the end, and then maybe like get a point if you've won that. But I'm not sure if I want to have this in the global CRM system. Yeah, that's currently where I got stuck, or at least I haven't like invested more time to like really solve it, because I was just kind of brainstorming so far.
Yeah, I mean, so Bradley and I stood up. We have our own Hetzner server now, and we've connected the GitHub repository to it and stuff. So now, like anything we want to do as far as the Notion API goes, we have a public integration, or like we haven't made it public yet, but we have, we have the ability now to use whatever kind of Notion API. I can connect the Notion API to the Gather API to any API that we want to pull data into Notion from. And I've been talking to Bradley. He's stoked on everything that we're doing, and he's like, yeah, man, take what you need from like what all the stuff that he's built, and so that like puts me light years ahead of like, okay, well, here I need to do customer personas, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. Like the fact that it's already built, at least the databases, and I like his architecture and stuff. And so, yeah, I was gonna see if I could invite him to the Thursday meeting.
Oh, yeah, for
For the
sure.
Notion meeting to introduce y'all and stuff.
That'd
And
be cool.
yeah. So
Nice. Anything else? Sophia, how about like so I'm not sure if Evan has seen the graphics so far, but like I think that would be like a cool place to also show this off. And
Yeah,
um
totally.
like today is kind of like a very much game plan on like hours. So in the future, I think turning this around, saying like, hey, this is where we at. In the future, there's going to be like a quest to do the synthesizer, a quest to read 100 million leads, and like kind of like publishing this a little bit like these events in Fortnite or something. Like, hey, like
Mhm.
there's this event that you can do on this day, but like they're gonna stay playable. So I think in the future, like what we're building is an ability to really like launch different events or like push. Like I really like this concept of like pushing out quests to all people. It's like, hey, by the way, if you want to like improve your about page, Harut has like a quest that he developed specifically around that. So go ahead and check it out, and then at the end there's an affiliate.
yeah,
Yeah.
like one of the pivotal things that we're going to need to do is just like make something that's so simple and so useful that people like always have Notion available. So like for having Notion on your phone, if we just have like one widget, one thing that's like super handy as far as like voice notes or some feature that people would want, like web snipping or whatever, that just even gets them into the platform, is going to be super key. I'm just not even sure what that is exactly, but
Yeah, I agree.
For
Okay, go
because
ahead,
most people
Sophia.
are scared of Notion, but like we have to make it as super simple, at least just one entry point that's just like
Yeah.
ridiculously simple.
I was thinking that it could be ideas. I think a lot of people want to store their ideas, and I think this could also be a nice transition towards transforming ideas into content pieces. So that'd be like an obvious journey for people to take. And it's like, hey, like all of these ideas that you've been gathering for the last month or so, let's turn these into content pieces. Here's how you do it. Click this button. Done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like continuously promoting the stop consuming, start creating mentality is like what that should be like our like slogan, or like the core principle like that we build everything on, is that because I'm still not doing it. I'm like creating like things within Notion, but like I'm not doing anything. I'm not releasing it. So it's still not useful. But yeah, you got to put yourself out there. And so that's what our quests will be about. It's like, look, do the damn thing. And so, yeah.
Yeah,
And
totally. Making it actionable
then I
for
think
sure.
like the other big thing that I'm really looking forward to is the collective knowledge base. It's like, and I don't know if anybody else is really going to get hyped about that, but it's going to be so cool once it's there that then it'll be a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure. Yep.
Sophia,
I'm
you're a bit
actually
quiet. I feel like your microphone maybe somewhere.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe just generally. No, now you're gone. Now you're completely gone. Oh yeah, there you are again.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
Okay. I will try to figure that out later. I'm gonna actually need to jump in 5 minutes. I have a call right after this one. So Yeah, I'm really looking forward to us having more action steps after
Yeah.
these kinds of meetings. Because, like, if we go back to, like, the zones, I don't know if Evan knows about, like, red zone is planning. Oh, sorry, red zone is just ideation, yellow zone is planning, and green zone is implementation. I'm more on the yellow green side. So I'm really looking forward to actually doing something with everything we've talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's kind of like what happens behind the scene. Like I feel like since we are currently in the game plan and like we're streaming this to YouTube, this is very heavily focused on like, hey, this is currently where we're going. This is literally the game plan, but like us executing on these things, I think this is too granular for most people, so that's why
Yeah,
we're
totally.
we're focusing on that. But do you still have time to showcase us the graphics that you've been working on?
Oh, can you share the screen instead? I believe my laptop is getting quite slow, so you
Yeah,
already
sure.
added them to the about page.
Sweet. So this is currently where we are at. I actually get to do this live. This is gonna be fun. So let me share this. And let me add the YouTube video. So this is gonna be on the about page now, which is going to be super fun. And we'll do it like that. Um, yes, look at that.
I love the way
Um,
it looks, honestly.
yeah. So I'm not sure if like you have another iteration on this graphic,
Yeah,
but
I
like
do
what
have a
you've been
bunch. I just need to actually do small tweaks to make it right so I can send it to you, but I have a bunch of images I came up with.
sweet. All right. No, but like what we have so far is like I think it's great. So first of all, we have the 3 steps. So join the community, get your template, and start playing. So we do kind of like focus that hey, this is like a Notion thing. Um, and then the playing is around these quests. And like, hey, there's like a quest for health, for wealth, and relationships. And we kind of ended up going for like these are literally my Q2 quests. I'm not sure if we should like keep them or if we should replace them by dummy quests. I kind of like to be held accountable around that. But I'm not sure if this adds value to other people. Like, what do you guys
I
think?
think like the examples are valuable because like if you do just wealth quest, health quest, that won't really give them any idea of what the quest could be. Plus, I think the ones that you have, a lot of people can relate to, just like getting more members in their communities, getting healthier, just like making 10K. Like, so I feel like they can resonate with that.
Nice. Well, what do you, Evan?
Yeah, no, I like the real examples. I think the final one would then be like that same exact thing, only like at a like community level, where it's like, yeah, here's your goals, but then like showing like, you know, a bunch of them as far as like, okay, here's one set, but like that zoomed out view where it's like, and here's what we're all doing, like,
Yeah.
and the fact that we can kind of see and hold each other accountable. That's something that's also valuable that people are seeking, the
No, I
accountability
agree.
portion thing.
And like considering that this is literally the launch, which means this is kind of like this is the baseline. So everything from here on is just gonna like get better and improve. So yeah, and then we like that now we're kind of like in the stage where we're taking action, like focusing on a lot of marketing at the moment, like connecting with someone like Kevin or Ryan or um like getting like examples of those, and it's like, hey, this is what it looks like for them and this is their profile and this is kind of like how it looks. I think having that will be like so cool to like show them, because that elevates the whole thing to another level, because there's like, oh, like other people actually like playing that as well, and they kind of like represented within this greater ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Then
Yeah,
I think that was it. That was like a bit more messy than I originally thought, but still super happy on like how this turned out. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. See you later.
That's good.